Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our weekly Sunday Night Football NFL recap. I am Podcast Poppy. I'm Dylan Bretto. I'm joined with Big Brother Stephen Bretto, the Sand Viper. Hello.
We're back again.
We are back 3 weeks in a row. 15 more to go, but we're not trying to rush that. We love the NFL season. We love that this is upon us. We have a really good slate of games. We could just get right into this Sunday Night Football game that we just got done watching with Raider faithful Anthony telling us all day about how the Raiders were going to win tonight. Refused to put drinks on it. I said, okay, you want to put some drinks on? He goes, no wager needed. Just enjoy the show. And enjoy the show I did.
Kenny motherfucking Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Steelers win 23-18. Let me pull it up. Share screen. Bam.
It's almost like we asked, where do you get 10 wins from for the Raiders?
Yeah, I don't know where you get 10 wins from. You got one from the Broncos, but the Broncos doesn't really matter who's their coach because they suck.
Broncos are really bad. That win looks really bad. Again, what do you do against good teams?
We were fooled by week one with the Steelers going against the Niners because the Niners are in another class. So we shouldn't have weighed that so heavily. I didn't. I still said this Steelers team can win division games and win like 9 games or so.
3-1 against the NFC West.
Mm-hmm. So right now we're looking Kenny Pickett 16 for 28, 235, 2 touchdowns. Kenny Pickett came out after Jimmy threw a dot to Devontae with Patrick Peterson just not turned around for the opening touchdown. And Kenny Pickett said, hold my beer, bang, like a 65-yard post route. Split the 2-man safeties, ran right between them, suck my dick touchdown, gone. And then everything just went to shit. Josh Jacobs looks like he doesn't want to play football.
Looks like he needed some training camp.
He needed everything because less than 3.5 yards per carry, 3.4 yards per carry on 19 carries. That's for Najee, but what's his face? Josh Jacobs had identical stats: 17 for 62, 3.6 yards per carry. Jimmy G 28 for 44, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The cool thing about the Raiders is they still have Davante Adams, and Davante Adams does Davante Adams things. So even when you're losing, it's exciting.
You guys have Hunter Renfrow. You don't
riding the bench.
And you have Baby Gronk on your team you don't even use.
I don't think they've targeted their tight end.
2-point conversion
once.
Only one.
In the 3 games they've targeted their tight end once, and it was on a 2-point conversion. You have solid tight ends.
You have a gem at tight end.
Michael Mayer is a dog, and then who the fuck's the other one they have?
Austin Hooper.
You have Austin Hooper and Baby Gronk. And you just don't use them. But Jimmy G just doesn't throw to his second read.
Never does. It's first read and out, or first read and interception, sack, get bailed out by a bogus roughing the passer penalty where Minka Fitzpatrick didn't even hit his head. Didn't even come near close to hitting his head. And then your coach can't add kicking that 3-point field goal when you're down 8. Kicking a field goal when you're down 8 with like less than a minute left.
It's a fun night.
After you just got a bogus leverage penalty and nobody could find the leverage, and he still went and kicked into the field goal.
Let's talk about that Steelers defense just a little bit. Let's go back down there. Levi Wallace with 2 interceptions. Pat Pete with an interception. TJ Watt with 2 sacks. Marcus Golden with a sack. Benton with a sack. They were everywhere.
Yes, the Raiders don't have no offensive line.
They have no offensive. This is the first game where they really felt it because they didn't really get much of a pass rush, and they didn't give up their first sack of the season until tonight. What's up, Blackheart? How's everything going? They gave up the first sack of the season tonight, but a lot of their game plan is so centered around 3-step, bang, 3-step, bang, 3-step, bang. Get rid of the ball as quick as possible. And we've seen on every interception that Jimmy's thrown this year, when you get that first read out of there and he's got to do something, he's either running or he's throwing an interception.
Yeah, 3 steps. If he can't get his read on the first read and a 3-step drop, he's got to throw it away or something bad's going to happen.
It's tough to watch, and I'm trying to let Anthony know that that's what Jimmy G is. Jimmy G is not this Super Bowl like quarterback champion. He is a game manager who, when the game gets away from him, really gets away from him.
He's only good if the run's not going well, he's not going well. He needs to run. He needs to run so he can get the play action. If he gets the play action going, he can go get his first read. If you're not winning the game with Jimmy throwing the ball. How many times he threw the ball tonight?
Jimmy G threw the ball, I think, 44 times. Yeah. 28 for 44.
Jimmy G under 27 attempts.
I was going to say that his completions, like the number he got for completions, should be the amount of times he's throwing the ball.
He needs 27 attempts. That's it. That's what you need to win with him.
Yeah, that porn star Blackheart, porn star Jimmy doesn't exist. He dates washed porn stars, washed porn stars, and gets credit for it. He was bad, and he hasn't been good really this season much. So even in the game they won, he wasn't great.
They're just that much better than the Broncos.
Broncos are a completely other story. Let's go right into that one. That's one I want to go right into. We'll get to everything else, but we have to take a trip to Denver. Where the fuck, or the trip to Miami? Cause what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
We could barely do that on Madden.
And this dude, Sean Payton, really came out, and not even to big up Nathaniel Hackett because he's my offensive coordinator, but he came out and he shit on Nathaniel Hackett for his piss poor head coaching job, yet he allowed 70 to be dropped on him. That's crazy.
He used to take his starters out too.
When you got Xavier Howard on the Dolphins talking about, hey, it's kind of mad disrespectful that you left Russell Wilson in the game down 50. And then to then bench Tua to bring in Mike fucking White.
And Mike White throws
a 68-yard touchdown to Robbie Anderson. Just because.
I was waiting for them to start when they were gonna get A-Chain involved in the offense. And boy,
did they get him involved?
Get him involved in the offense.
The worst part about A-Chain doing this is I can't even go and claim A-Chain. I'm about to, spoiler alert, Barretto Bowl. Dylan's about to win the Barretto Bowl tomorrow. And I can't even go and claim A-Chain because I'm going to have bottom priority waiver because I keep winning. So I can't even claim him. But, I have Mostert. So I ate good today. Because Raheem Mostert put up a cool 45.
We got 4 touchdowns, so
it's like this Miami Dolphins offense is just the greatest show on turf. It's just all right, cool. Track stars, who we going?
Denver is that bad.
Denver is horrible. I feel bad for Patrick Surtain because Patrick Surtain went to go talk to his dad about how to cover the Dolphins, and his dad just lied to him.
False information.
just completely lied to him, and Surtain's like, "Oh yeah, my dad gave me the skinny on what the Dolphins doing. Wrong." He's gotta. I think at that point, when you go home to talk to your dad, you gotta fight. I think you gotta fight because PS2's reputation as a lockdown corner gets put into question when shit like this happens.
I don't think his dad's gonna pick up the phone.
Hey, eventually they gotta meet.
He dropped on him.
Not even a phone call, but Thanksgiving's coming soon.
The backups came in. The worst part about it is the backups came in and started.
And then he got. You let Robbie Anderson beat you. Robbie Anderson just got put onto the roster like yesterday. They said, all right, you're off the practice squad. We need you. Waddle's not playing today. So go ahead and get a little bit of burn.
They could have scored more. This could have went to 90. This was Oregon. Oregon dropping freaking 80 points like 3 weeks ago.
And then Puddles the Duck has to do all those all the push-ups. Shout out to Puddles at Oregon. But 10 touchdowns. 10 touchdowns.
Over 700 yards of offense.
That's unbelievable.
And
that is...
Yes, you had to take Tua out knowing his injury history. You needed my quick play.
He only threw the ball 26 times. He only threw the ball 26 times.
Not only that, and I know Russell Wilson, he played like shit, but there was a bunch of fucking fumbles their receivers were doing when they get an open field. They just fumble, like 4 fumbles in the first half, and you're down like 35-7 in the first half.
So when do you think Russell Wilson gets benched?
Next 2 weeks. But next week, the awful game of the week.
There's 2. No, the Broncos have back-to-back. They have back-to-back awful games.
The Broncos versus the Bears next week.
And then you know who they play the next week?
Who?
Us.
Oh, wow.
We have the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football next week with a quarterback that can't throw the ball.
They should flex that for Bills Dolphins. They need to flex that. We need early season flexes. Come on, man.
We
Bills
have a quarterback who can't throw the ball, a defense that does everything, and the quarterback just can't do shit. It's terrible. It's terrible. Zach taking fucking sacks that he has no business taking. Throw the fucking ball away, Zach. What are you doing? But yet, here we are. He's just scared of his fucking life.
Scared. You got to help him out.
When you're missing open guys and guys are open the second, like, you know how, like, I get so mad at Zach throwing the ball in the middle of the field on short routes because he's always late. Now he doesn't throw them. There's on 2 of his sacks, he had Lazard wide open on the drag, and he just missed him until it was too late. He waited for Lazard to get all the way to the sideline before throwing the ball, as opposed to hitting him early in the middle of the field. Because Zach always zips those balls, and they get tipped, and it's an interception.
When are they going to bench him?
They don't have a quarterback to bench him for. Tim Boyle is... Oh, you think Zach's bad? Wait till you see Tim Boyle play football. He's terrible. He's fucking terrible. But luckily for us, the Vikings lost. So...
What an exciting, terrible game. An exciting, terrible coaching game. You want to... The combination of Brandon Staley and Kellen Moore, they went for it on 4th down on their own 20 with like freaking 3 minutes left. and got lucky. Got lucky. That would have cost them the game. They got so lucky.
They got Brandon Staley's whole coaching job got saved by the interception at the end of the game.
Interceptions one interception, and then Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, I had to face him.
He's a baller.
He had 15 catches, like 200 some yards, like 2 touchdowns, and he threw a 40-yard touchdown.
Keenan Allen, when we were watching week 1, when I had everybody over here, we were watching Red Zone and everything. We're hanging out, eating wings, pizza, all that shit. Keenan Allen looks like he gained all of his speed back that he lost over the last 3 years because of injury. And he's got a new set of wheels on him. He's got a whole new set of wheels on this fucking vehicle because he looks awesome. He looks like the Keenan Allen of old, the Keenan Allen that was pounding on the table. I was like, Keenan Allen's a top 10 receiver. Everybody respect Keenan Allen. He looks like that guy again.
Both these defenses are fucking
horrible.
Madison was having his way in this game, and then 2 fumbles got called back. But I know that's going to make everybody nervous. And then they traded for Cam Akers. Guess what he's going to do too?
Fumble. And that fumble, or that's not even called a fumble. Let's call it the TJ Hawkinson just getting robbed. The first quarter, Hawkinson just goes and catches a deep in route and just gets the ball just deboed off of him.
Detroit made the right move getting rid of him.
Yeah, because they're what's it was Laporta?
And then he got a fucking
massive contract. To just do that.
And then Detroit gave him a lemon.
They MCDC. MCDC, man.
Hawkinson, the Vikings and these fumbles.
They've lost 7 on the year.
That fumble, Madison, that 2 fumbles could have been, but they were called back. So they ball security for fumbling. Kirk Cousins threw an interception. That was at the end of the game. Yep. Fourth down. He had to do something.
You know what they say, Steven? Ball security is job security. And
everybody's fucking fumbling except the person.
Everybody's fumbling. I don't get it. But hey, Kirk Cousins 32 for 50 for 367, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Justin Herbert 40 for 47, 405, 3 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, perfect QBR, 1 for 1.
Remember we started like the Vikings. I don't understand why you guys are disrespecting the Vikings. All those 1-score games. Can we just say they're clutch? What are they? What's the record in 1-score games this year?
Let's not even do that. Let's go to the playoffs. Since the playoffs, they are 0-4 in 1-score games after being 11-0 in 1-score games. It looks like last year all the coin flips landed on win, and this year they're all landing on loss. So
Brian Flores deserved every right to get fired from the Miami Dolphins with the way he treated Tua.
Yes, he did. I will never forget them having both an 8-game win streak and an 8-game losing streak in the same season. I will never understand that. How that happens.
He didn't want Tua.
Listen,
and guess what?
He looks stupid.
He should be able to get the way this defense is looking right now. He should be able to get fired. He should be getting fired again.
Listen, their whole staff is probably going to be on the hot seat soon. Where it's like, all right, we're going to go in when the organization commits to the tank and they trade Kirk Cousins. Everybody's out at the end of the year. Everybody's out at the end of the year.
It's almost like we said they got worse on defense. There's only one returning starter on this team on defense. Oh, 2. Daniil Hunter and Harrison Smith.
They got worse on defense and they got worse on offense.
Yeah, and they got worse on offense. Let Dalvin Cook go.
Granted, Dalvin Cook doesn't look great. He does not look great, but he's better than Madison. It's the Vikings are a fucking shit show. And Joe Douglas, call them. Do the thing. Just save the season before it gets as to the worst it could possibly get. Because you can't hit the 1-5 and then decide to make a move for a quarterback. I said for the Jets, let's go there. You can't lose this game and have Zach be bad. If you lose this game and Zach balled, then it's like, all right, you know what? Let's just keep rocking with him. You can't lose this game and have Zach look the way he looked and act like that's okay. You have to do something. Obviously, you have to say that you have to roll with Zach going forward because you don't have another playable quarterback. But you cannot, like, there has to be something done.
You have to do something. And it coming from a coaching standpoint. You got to make things easier for him, because if you're going to continue to play with this guy, you know what his weaknesses are.
Everything.
There's got to be. You got to find something.
The problem is when they worked with him, he didn't see it. There was only one drive of this game where Zach looked playable, and it was their touchdown drive, which, shout out to the fullbacks. We got a bunch of fullback touchdowns today. Bring them back. Bring back the fullback. But the one drive he looked good was a drive we were able to establish the run and just hit like bang, bang, bang. Hit a couple throws. Every other drive, Zach was just shook. He was just shook.
Plays because from yes, he sucks. We know this. But then he's got the shit in the back of his head, his teammates, and he's going to deal with the fans.
The whole stadium booing him immediately.
Yeah. And then when he goes to the sideline, whether Garrett Wilson is just talking to him about nothing or something, everybody's going to take that the wrong way. And it's got to do with his psyche. He's a damaged quarterback with a damaged psyche, and you better put him on the bench and find somebody else real quick, because
again, you can't. The problem is, if you bench Zach now, you bench him for somebody worse, and that's a problem. When Tim Boyle is unplayable, and you have to sit there and watch Zach. I've seen Zach get benched for less. Right? That Jaguars game, I saw Zach get benched for Chris Strevler, who couldn't throw a fucking football 5 yards. Like, you have to do what's best for the football team, and Zach is not it. So you have to go and do something. Right? Granted, the only touchdown the Patriots scored in this fucking game was off of a blown coverage for that slow-ass tight end. The Jets do this thing where it's like we play their offense fucking perfect, and our offense just can never just put a point on the fucking board. It's so infuriating. This is the game where I expect Woody to come down, like right around now when everybody's still at one Jets drive, and so they're like, fucking do something. Like, you can't lose this game to a worse team.
You can't lose that. You have too much talent to lose that Patriot
team.
Too
much talent to lose to this fucking Patriot team. Like, Mac Jones, 15 for 29, 201. Like, he literally was dinking and dunking all game. Dinking and dunking.
That's what he does.
That's all. That's what. Shocker. Newsflash. That's all the Patriots have done for 20 years. So let's just not cover the flat. Ever. Every team thinks the Patriots are going to do something different. Where?
Different where? They have no receivers. They do the same shit.
Look, Pharaoh Brown, 2 receptions, 71 yards. Like, what am I supposed to fucking do with that? all in a blown coverage. Like, every other receiver's dog shit. Every other receiver here is dog shit. But 2 sacks, like, Zach taking all those sacks today was just like, what are you doing?
He's not ready to be in there. If Tim Boyle's that bad, you still got to play him. You got to see what he's got, because Zach he's too scared to throw, because he's going to throw an interception. He's already in his own head. So what he's going to do is going to take the sacks.
What's up, Courtney?
Sacks. And at that point, he's holding on to the ball. You got to make the move.
What's crazy is he's taking the sacks, or he's just creating his own pressure. There was one of the drives in the fourth quarter, I think it was on the final drive, where instead of rolling out of the pocket to try to go, he stepped up into the pocket into pressure. And then it's just like, what are we doing? Like, the little things that he was progressing at that we got to see a little bit was like his pocket presence out the window. All of it, he just reverted. He took 3 steps back. Everything went right the fuck back. So it's like, all right, cool. Also, Randall Cobb should not be on the fucking field. Like, Randall Cobb should never be on the field. I hated the Randall Cobb signing the second we did it. Because, like, yeah, sure, we went and got Aaron Rodgers, but doesn't mean we need to kiss his fucking ring and just bring in all of his fucking boys. Like, especially washed Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb, who can't catch a pass, can't run a route, can't block. McCall Hardman has seen the field one time.
Yeah, you just need to fucking put Hardman out there and tell him to just run straight.
Guy runs like 25 miles an hour.
He's very fast. You tell him run.
He's a very fast boy. And what is the one thing Zach does well? Throw the ball deep.
Yeah, freaking clear top of the defense. Everybody else gets open.
Throw the ball deep.
He's either going to get open, or that's going to get somebody else open.
Zach is this anomaly where he does the hard things really well and the very easy things horribly. Where I think Zach has a better completion percentage on passes that are 45 yards plus than he does anything from 0 to 20. And I'm pretty sure there's a stat there that can back me up on that. But, like, when he throws the ball, I actually feel so much more comfortable when he throws the ball fucking deep than when he's throwing a fucking slant. That's crazy to me. That has touch on a deep ball but can't do shit from the line of scrimmage.
When your defense made the stop, you get the ball back. I'm like, oh, it's 2:43 left in the game, and Zach Wilson has the ball.
The worst part about it is they 10 out of 12 first downs that the Jets had to start the drive were run plays. 10 out of 12 were run plays. So it was predictable play calling. It was everything. Everything was just bad. And they go out there for that possession. Where you texted me, and Tony Romo goes, all right, let's see if they're going to pass the ball finally on first down. Oh, hey, they passed the ball. No gain. 0-yard gain. There was the safety where Mike is yelling at me. He's saying, "Why? Oh, look at that safety game over." I was like, no, we still have the 2-minute warning in like our timeouts where the game's not over yet. And I was just like, why didn't he just throw to the check down? He's like, it's third down. What's the point of throwing the check down? I was like, to give your punter space.
Yeah.
I was like, you throw to the check down, so you give your punter space so he's not backed up against the fucking 12th man, which is the back of the end zone. And bam, you blocked touchback or safety anyway, or bam, block recovery touchdown. That's why you do that. And then the next drive, Zach throws the check down on fourth down. I was like, out of all the times you don't want to be a gunslinger, you pick that one.
But then you manage to get the ball back again.
And this is an extra special fuck you to Randall Cobb, because that was a beautiful Hail Mary. again, it's the thing where I feel so much better when Zach throws the ball down the field than when he does from 0 to 20.
There to grab the tip. It's like,
and Randall Cobb's old ass.
it
Randall
only
Cobb should never see the football field ever again. Should never see the football field again. Unless 8 is on the field, get him the fuck out of here. Get him out of here.
He only works with Rodgers.
He only works with Rodgers. He works with nobody else. I'll tell you who we missed today is Corey Davis. That would have helped a lot.
And then he would have dropped the ball. And
then he would have dropped the ball, and I would have been like, I fucking hate Corey Davis. But I tell you what, I like Corey Davis more than I like fucking Randall Cobb.
He would have dropped the ball, and you would say, why don't you fucking stay retired?
I like him so much more than Randall Cobb. I still would have been calling for McCole Hardman. That's just me. Just waiting for a McCole Hardman sighting. That's all I want. I want to see 6 on the field. That's it. Let me see. He would be Zach's best friend. Just go. You don't got to do. Just go. Could be very hard to overthrow him. Don't know how you do it. Jets defense was good. Didn't get any turnovers, but they applied pressure. Fuck Mac Jones. Did you see that QB sneak play?
Yeah.
Where he gets, they literally just put their hands out and little brothered him on that fucking QB sneak play. And then he breaks free, decides he's going to just keep trying to run. So CJ Moser was like, all right, bet, Suplex City. Ooh.
I like it's like 3rd and 3 for the Patriots, Mac Jones. Every time they need Mac Jones to get the first down, he never gets it. Even to ice the game, he can never get it.
He gets fucking brought to Suplex City, and then he gets up and he hits Sauce Gardner in the nuts. And like I remember I was watching the game, I was sitting there, I was like, is Sauce Gardner trying to square up with Mac Jones right now? What happened? And like I'm not even really thinking about it, and I'm like putting 2 and together. I was like, right, Mac Jones is an asshole.
Yeah, he's a nut kicker.
He's a nut kicker. He's a foot twister. He is a dirty player. I forgot Mac Jones is a dirty player. Then Sauce does his interview. He's like, yeah, he hit me in my private parts. I'm like, now it makes sense. Meanwhile, I post that interview in our group chat, and Anthony's just like, Sauce is a diva. What? What?
Go kick him in the nuts.
Yeah. Like, what? How is that diva? You just didn't want to get hit in the nuts by the quarterback for no reason?
Being a diva.
And then he says, oh, are you ready to admit that Sauce Gardner's the second best corner in the AFC East? I was like, to who? Christian Gonzalez? He's like, yeah, he's locked up Garrett Wilson. I was like, 1, it's not hard to lock up Garrett Wilson when Zach can't throw the ball. So you don't really get a lot there. He's like, he locked up Tyreek Hill. No, Tyreek Hill just didn't have the 300-yard games he's been having. He had 45 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he didn't lock up Tyreek Hill. He also had help. He also had 3 safeties back there. Who plays with 3 safeties over the top?
And then he also got cooked by Philly's receivers.
Oh, yeah, Philly's receivers were cooking.
Philly's receivers fucked him up. And I'm sitting there, and he was like, when are you going to tell me? I was like, Sauce Gardner has allowed 100 yards in 3 games and no touchdowns. Like, what do you want me to do? Actually, not even 100. I think it's like 75 yards because he only gave up 1 catch to the Cowboy game in the Cowboy game.
What's the definition of a fucking diva? Like, it's a diva if he's like
he's a troll.
It's a diva if Sauce comes out and like, well, we did our job.
Offense need to come out there and do something.
Yeah, that's a diva. We did our job here.
Sauce ain't like that. Sauce is very much so the, hey, we all got to be better. We all got to be better, but no, that Mac Jones guy, fuck him. All right, let's go to our Thursday night game. Giants suck. Giants suck. I think Kayvon Thibodeau is not very good. And you could tell by how he just isn't paying attention half the time. And it sucks. Daniel Jones, 22 for 32.
Terribly.
137 yards, an interception. They missed Saquon Barkley every second of this game.
It's almost like Saquon's their offense.
And it's incredibly blasphemous that the Giants decided they were going to pay Daniel Jones instead of Saquon Barkley.
And they decided to pay Darren Waller, too. That's not
they took on the contract of Darren Waller, but the Raiders ate most of the contract. So you needed to kind of get Darren Waller because you needed somebody else besides Saquon to do something.
It's not working, and still have no wide receivers.
Listen, I don't know where homeboy from Tennessee is. Where is he?
He's playing. He's just
not getting targeted.
That and not getting open.
Sucks. Because he was my favorite receiver in this draft. And it kind of sucks. And Dable needs to figure that out because he is the best receiver on this team. So they need to figure out a way to get him involved. Huh?
They don't put him in the field that much. Remember, he changed his number too, so.
That's so annoying.
He got 13 now.
Literally the best receiver on this team. Just, fuck it. Meanwhile,
offensive line anyway, so you're getting Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave pressuring Daniel Jones out the way.
Every single snap.
He's gonna die
because without one of the best left tackles in football and Andrew Thomas,
game where the tight end had to split from the tackle. It was when they were backed up in their own, on their own 10, and they call a play action. And the tight end split was so far from the tackle. And then they expected that tight end to block Nick Bosa. So when Daniel Jones turns around from handing the play fake, he's dead. As soon as he turns around from the play fake, boom, Nick Bosa has him on the ground. I'm like, why is that tight end split like that? With that much space between him and the fucking tackle and Nick Bosa's line right there. And why would you run a bootleg to that side? I'll play action.
Brock Purdy did Brock Purdy things. 25, 37, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Read Brock Purdy.
McCaffrey, 18 for 85, 4.5 yards per carry and a touchdown. Elijah Mitchell got some burn. We saw Sam Darnold in the game do nothing but hand the ball off and take knees in victory formation. Debo, 6 for 129. George Kittle, 7 for 90. The Niners are as advertised. They are all very good.
It's almost like the Giants only beat teams they're better than.
Yeah, which isn't many. But to be fair here, the Giants beat a team that you guys lost to. But we'll get there. Lions, Falcons.
The Falcons, they better start getting into tank mode. They need one of these quarterbacks because Ritter
sucks.
Awful.
Ritter sucks.
And it's a shame that they beat the Packers last week, and he threw 4 picks that they dropped.
This team is terrible. This whole team is terrible. They have a few really good pieces on here. It makes me upset that Calais Campbell decided to come here instead of to New York.
They had one. They had Kyle Pitts 40 yards down the field.
Oh, I saw that.
Overthrows him. It's a fucking touchdown.
It's so perfect that when I don't play Drake London does great. And then when I have to play Drake London because Aaron Jones 10 minutes before kickoff decides he's not going to play, Then I'm sitting here with my dick in my hand, like, oh, I guess I gotta play fucking Drake London. 5 points.
Yeah,
Fuck
it was
off,
only
Drake
that
London.
one catch. That was it.
Fucking Drake London, man. This fire Arthur Smith. I'm gonna be shouting that like to whoever will listen. Put it out into the ether. Fire Arthur Smith for this bullshit. It is piss poor play calling and the selection of plays and who he's throwing to and yada yada yada. Because there's no reason Jonnu Smith should have more targets than Drake London
Or Kyle Pitts.
or Kyle Pitts. He shouldn't like.
It's also a quarterback too.
Ritter sucks.
Ritter sucks. So if we're wondering, it's coordination, coach, or quarterback. You can get those guys the ball. Come on, man.
We saw Jahmyr Gibbs play football today. And he played rather well. 17 for 80, 4.5 yards per carry.
And we have Laporta, 47-yard bomb thrown to him.
They only had four targets. Go right ahead, man. MCDC. 4 receivers who caught balls today. A wide receiver, a tight end, another wide receiver, and a running back.
Khalif Raymond. I think that most of the other wide receivers were hurt. Because even Amon-Ra was a game time decision. He played. I know Josh Reynolds, who's their other receiver, probably didn't play.
No.
So they didn't play any. The other receiver suspended. So
shout out to Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson got a sack and was like just dancing his ass off. And somebody on Twitter, a Falcons fan on Twitter, said, like retweeted the video and he goes, "Damn, a white boy's dancing on us like that. Fucking sell the team. Get rid of the team." Shout out to the Lions, Motor City Dan Campbell, 2-1. Where are we at next? Chargers Vikings we did. Saints Packers. Derek Carr is out for a while.
What a legendary Lambeau comeback for Jordan Love in his first start at Lambeau.
Mm-hmm.
Not so yet frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
With no Aaron Jones.
And no A.J. Dillon.
No.
A.J. Dillon
there, but was he?
There.
He's there, but he's not there.
There's no Christian Watson, but they came back. They were up 17-0 and came back. That's what makes. That's what legends are built of. From
it did help. Derek Carr went out because Jameis, he was fine. It didn't really help that they missed the kick at the end of the game. But Jameis was fine. I'm getting tired of Anthony telling me that the Jets need to trade for Jameis Winston. I'm not ready for that. Not ready for that.
You already have the other team. You don't need that.
He's like, Jameis Winston is a starting caliber quarterback. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not. Like, what do we need to do? And he keeps bringing out this, the Saints were 5-2 2 years ago when he started. I was like, yeah, and what was he last year? He was like 1-4 before he got hurt.
Back up though. If he was good, they would have never went and got Derek Carr. Come on.
Exactly. He's convinced that Dennis Allen's hoeing him. And I'm like, no, he hoed himself. He's like, yeah, he went 5-2 in that one stretch New Orleans. I was like, yeah, but he's like 34 and like 46 as a starter total. Like, I don't want to hear any of that.
It sucks. He was filling it for Drew Brees, and that team was totally different.
He was bad. He was terrible. And like, I don't need Jameis Winston sometimes.
Because of that.
Yes. Sometimes Jameis Winston is awesome, right? There's moments where Jameis Winston's awesome, but he is a roller coaster. When he's high, he's really high, but eventually got to come down.
Yeah.
Eventually got to come down.
You throw a nice 80-yard strike at 300 yards, but then you're like, 4 touchdowns to the other team.
And I was just like, we got to look at the defenses for these things. Because that 5-2 run that Jameis had, remember that Green Bay game that they had a few years ago where Aaron Rodgers turned over the ball like 4 times and the Saints kept like, I think Jameis threw for like 5 touchdowns that day. And he kept on getting the ball on the Packers 20.
Yeah.
He threw 5 touchdowns, like 140 yards. And I was like, well, yeah, when your defense is turning over the ball as frequently as they are, like,
You're already up 30 yards to go. Would
chuck it up. Why not? It was different offense, different everything. That was a Sean Payton team. That was all that. Like, that's you're backing up Drew Brees. Everything's completely different. It's not the same. Jameis ain't that guy. I don't want Jameis Winston. I don't want Jameis Winston. He got mad at me because I said I wanted Jacoby Brissett over Jameis Winston.
but yeah.
At least I know Jacoby's going to protect the football.
Yeah, I'd rather have Jacoby.
Yeah, he's going to protect and he's proven he can win. Like, he's proven he's good enough to win football games. And he's proven he doesn't throw the game away. He's going to make the safe play every single time. And if we're going to go get a quarterback and you can't go get a guy like Kirk Cousins, you're going to want to go get a guy who is better at protecting the football game and putting your team in a good position. So, Jacoby,
Yeah.
go make the play, even though Sam Howell was fucking terrible today.
Packers defense stepped up, especially Jordan Love stepped up, especially with all those injuries still. Offensive line, Elton Jenkins and Bakhtiari out still.
Texans still on the Jaguars.
Did you know that Houston has won 10 out of 11 against Jacksonville? I didn't know.
I didn't know until today, where that's all I was seeing.
Is Houston that beats Jacksonville 10 out of 11 times?
It's all I saw after I submitted my picks today.
Stroud.
C.J. Stroud was awesome.
Looking like the best quarterback in this draft.
C.J. Stroud was awesome. Kudos to him.
All over.
But he's also thrown for a bajillion yards on top of it. C.J. Stroud, 20 for 32, 82 touchdowns. Shout out to Tank Dell. 5 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown. That catch where Tank Dell beat those safeties deep and just came down with it was fantastic. I got a lot of text messages. They're like, "Oh, top 10 quarterback Trevor Lawrence losing to the Houston Texans, right? Who you play matters." I'm like, who you play does matter. But again, we saw the top 1 quarterback lose to the Detroit Lions, and nobody's worried.
Yeah.
So, like, let's calm down here. Everybody has a bad game.
People have
27 for 40.
But Trevor Lawrence
is a bad game. It's okay.
The Jags defense
Got 8 up. And that's what I said. I was like, does Trevor Lawrence play defense? No? All right.
Defense. Trevor Lawrence defense ain't giving up 400 yards, like 300, 400 yards to a fucking rookie quarterback with rookie receivers.
Yeah, no, he did not, but he didn't play great either. But again, it's any given Sunday because you get shit like that, and then like we'll get there eventually, and then you get like the Cowboys losing to the fucking Cardinals, which shouldn't happen. Let's talk about Myles Garrett causing a delay of game on the offense because every time he motioned himself, 2 tight ends followed him and caused a delay of game.
I don't know why. At some point, it was like, okay, does the quarterback just check it to the other side? Like, what the heck? Just shift everything down that way. What is going on here? I've
never seen anything like that in my life.
Ryan Tannehill stinks.
I was going to say, I think this is Ryan Tannehill is the only quarterback this week I can say played worse than Zach Wilson.
And I think the 29-year-old running back age thing is starting to catch up. Running backs die at around 29, 30. I think Derrick Henry might be done.
I've yet to get a response from Mike because literally right when you sent that, I was already Huh?
Corners were taking his ass down. I'm like,
Right when you sent me that message, I was already in the process of sending Mike. I was like, hey, your Hulk looks old. Your Hulk is looking a little old.
and he got out. He got out snapped by the other running back too.
He had 11 carries for 20 yards. Nobody played well in this. The offensive line didn't do shit. The defense gave up a bajillion yards. Deshaun Watson finally looked like Deshaun Watson, but it's because he played the Titans.
But here's the also thing: they also had that ref. I don't know what he's looking at. How do you look at somebody's feet not go out of bounds?
That play was ridiculous. That play was ridiculous.
He just took a touchdown off the board, and that was a dime he threw too. So
it was a great throw. Maybe this was the game Deshaun Watson needed to remind himself that he's Deshaun Watson.
Oh, because he's still breaking sacks. Like you can't get him to the ground.
It's just been throwing. It's just been throwing the football, has not been like come back to him yet. And I need to see who the Browns play next, because he could be on a stretch of a few of these games. Huh?
They play the Ravens, I think.
Oh. That defense is banged up.
Yeah, everybody in the Ravens is banged up.
That whole it seems like the Ravens for the last 5 years, everybody's just been banged up.
Like their whole team been hurt.
Oh, their whole team exploded.
What's going on?
What's going on in Baltimore?
Things going on, people.
Because Deshaun could be on a stretch where he just looks like Deshaun again, and that could be scary because they have an offensive line.
This could be the fucking game he needed. This could be the game that sets him back to like, okay, kind of look like Deshaun Watson today.
Elijah Moore sucks. Elijah Moore sucks. Deshaun Watson's dumb as fuck for doing that backwards pass. And that's one of the stupider plays I've ever seen.
You know, it's Jerome Ford is looking like. Jerome Ford has been doing good. He did good this game too. It's like maybe they should have never went after Kareem Hunt.
Hey, you got him. You go and you fill up that room. At least you know Kareem Hunt knows the system.
Plus, he could catch. But Jerome Ford is balling.
Jerome Ford balled out. Everybody on this team balled out. Running the ball, they didn't do too great because they just were kind of spreading out the wealth, trying to figure it out. But they did a great job passing the ball. And again, Myles Garrett is ridiculous. 3.5 sacks. Like he's just a psychopath.
Yeah,
they're using Myles Garrett the way the Cowboys use Micah Parsons. Like that's horrifying.
Schwartz, the new defensive coordinator,
That's horrifying. The only difference is Myles Garrett is like bigger than Micah Parsons. So it's not, he doesn't have the speed that Micah has, but boy, does he have that like next level strength when he's coming off, just moving around back and forth and just goes full speed right through the center. You're not blocking him. You're not blocking him.
See, Deshaun Watson can take that momentum the next couple of weeks. That was a game he needed.
Yeah, it's Browns, Ravens, and then it's are they on a bye week already? Yeah, they're on a bye week 5, and then they have the Niners. So that could be that's a tough stretch. All right, Bills, Commanders.
Woo!
Commanders suck. When the Commanders play football teams that are not in that like bottom third tier of teams, they're in trouble.
Beat the crap out of Denver. Well, he came back out of Denver.
They came back on Denver.
Really
they came back on Arizona. Yeah. Just to get dog walked by the Bills.
Oh, Sam Howell. What do you have? 4 picks?
4 interceptions. 19 for 29, 174 interceptions. Remember when I said Ryan Tannehill might have been the only other quarterback that played worse than Zach Wilson this week? I lied. Sam Howell is also on that list.
Terrible.
Sam Howell, like Zach was bad. Sam Howell was dreadful.
Terrible.
Like
terrible. Terrible. The Bills defense just completely. Leonard Floyd could not be stopped today, and this is before they get Von Miller back.
The problem is the Commanders have a defense that can force turnovers. Like they have a defense built similarly to the Jets, where it's like, hey, that front's really good. Your secondary isn't bad. You could force Josh Allen to do dumb shit. And they just couldn't.
No, they couldn't do nothing. The front four is their defense. Everything else is uncivilized.
It's
anything else, if the front four can't get to you, the defense is gonna. That's what happens.
Get picked apart, and then you have Sam Howell just giving the ball back,
and then none of them could get Josh Allen down to the ground.
To be fair here, there's really not a lot of people who can. That's a slippery fuck. That is a slippery fuck. And it seems like the only team that gets him down is us. Yeah, but that's just division shit. It's like the rock, paper, scissors, where it's just like, oh, the Patriots can't beat us. Or we can't beat the Patriots. The Patriots can't beat Miami. Miami can't beat Buffalo. But Buffalo can't beat us. It's just ridiculous.
They got James Cook running all over the place.
James Cook 15 for 98, 6.5 yards. Look at them using running backs. That's been my question mark for them forever, is when are they going to run the fucking ball?
You got to run the ball with this team. Instead of Josh Allen running the ball, you got to run the ball. Eventually, Josh Allen gets a beat, keeps taking a beating, you're going to end up with Cam.
And I'm still waiting for this. I know they both caught balls today, but I'm still waiting for this 2 tight end offense. And I said this to Roz and Anthony before week 1, where I was like, I don't think you're going to see a 2 tight end set out of them, really, because Kincaid is still very new. They just are, if they are doing it, this is going to be new for everybody. They're just going to be implementing this 2 tight end offense. You're not going to see it a lot, if at all, early on in the season. You're going to see that more towards the back end of the season.
Kincaid knows the offense, and you might see it later.
Exactly. I think you'll see this more towards the back half of the season or into the playoffs, because people are going to be expecting it. It's just a matter of when is it showing up.
When are they going to start? And then when they're going to start running the ball to take time off of these big leagues.
Because if you can't run the ball, you're just going to keep using Josh Allen. You'll be putting him in harm's way because he's a fucking dodo bird. There's no... You got to save Josh Allen from himself. That's what the Bills need to do better of. And since Dable's been gone, you've started to see Josh Allen revert to the dumb stuff he was doing as a rookie. So, not saying because the Bills are in my division. The Jets don't even count this year. This year's over. But I would like to see them do better for Josh. We did Bills, Commanders, Colts, Ravens. Colts win. Uncle Rico wins. You want to talk about a bad coach game in overtime? How each team just decided, 4th and 3, fuck it. We're going for it.
We're going for it. Justin Tucker missing field goal.
Oh. Justin Tucker has missed a few kicks this year where it's like, hey.
The Colts kicker
drained 4 of them, right?
The only one in NFL history, apparently, to drain 3 or more field goals over 50 each time.
5 for 5.
Yeah. So, yeah,
and they were
it
was 52, 53, 53, 54.
Yeah, 4 over 50 he made. The first time ever in history.
He balled out. That's awesome. I feel bad for anybody who went and wasted a pick on Justin Tucker. Anthony. Because Justin Tucker, 1 for 2. I think my kickers have outscored Justin Tucker every week.
Ravens and their injuries.
Listen, was it Zay Flowers had a couple drops?
And they also had a freaking pass interference that wasn't called.
in overtime, we're across the middle where he just got wrapped up and thrown, and we're just like, I think it was in regulation. Zay Flower dropped the ball on like 4th down. I'm just like, you can't do that. You can't do that, Zay.
Growing pains.
It is what it is. They missed Odell. They missed him bad, but shocker. He gets hurt. Kyle Hamilton with 3 sacks. Even when they're completely banged up, the Ravens still play the Ravens football, no matter the personnel. We're just gonna fucking blitz the fuck out of this team, no matter what.
It seems like the Colts offense runs better with Uncle Rico.
You mean actual quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson isn't that. He shouldn't be playing yet.
It is. Yeah, you should have let him sit behind. Because then
Uncle Rico gets some games in.
When he comes back, then you're gonna put Minshew on the bench.
And Minshew's gonna be hot. That's gonna be the problem.
Anthony Richardson's gonna come in and throw fastballs.
Who wants fastballs when Uncle Rico's throwing balls over fucking mountains? That's what we need. That's what we need in Indianapolis. And the worst thing for Mike hates the Colts. Mike hates the Colts.
The only thing, well, guess what? They're number 1 right now. They're the Texans. They're number 1 in the division. And since they beat the Texans, they're number 1. So they're first place Colts.
Mike is probably somewhere punching air that Gardner Minshew brought this Colts team to beat the Ravens. That's hilarious to me. Zach Moss, 30 carries, 122 yards.
Yeah, they cut Dion the other day.
James, you know that man doesn't show up for shit when his teams lose.
Whoa.
You know he ain't showing up nowhere. He's fucking loser.
Tennis shoes on, running.
He's running. Everybody knows what's really good with him. Track star.
Everybody's team lost today. Show up.
Everybody's team lost. I'm here. Like, Steven's here. Cowboys got beat probably worse than all of us. That's a game you can't lose if you're the Cowboys. Now everybody's trying to turn on him again. Turning on Dak Prescott for what? It's almost like Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL. Tyler Biotish didn't play. Zach Martin didn't play. Like,
Tyron Smith didn't play.
And Tyron Smith didn't play.
They were missing 3 of their 3 offensive line.
3 out of 5. You're missing 3 out of 5. And it was a trap game. Let's get to that one. Let's get to it. Cowboys lose 28-16. This was a trap game of the century.
Well, the defense shit the bed.
They did that thing that they were doing last year where it's like, hey, whoever's on the other side, we're throwing at him.
Well, it's not even that. It's they could not stop the run. They had like 200 yards rushing before the first half.
Mm-hmm.
They can't.
What is it? Rondale Moore had that one like 40-yard run in the first quarter.
Nobody on defense was communicating. I'm like, do they not know they have a wide receiver at fucking tailback right now? And they were all out of position. So
not just any wide receiver, one of the fastest wide receivers in football,
fastest receiver on their fucking team. When he's back there, I'm like, and they were out of position on that 40-yard run. I'm like, okay. I'm like, Van Der Esch is like so far outside. I'm like, why? I'm like, do they not see him? And they run it. I'm like, everybody's out of position. So when the safety gets blocked, I'm like, no, the linebacker Van Der Esch ain't there. He's not going to catch him. It's a touchdown. I'm like, why is he so out of position? Like, where are the linebackers at? They got their ass whooped, and they could not stop the run. First defense on the field first. Give up like a 60-yard run to Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, it sucks because you guys stopped our run so fucking easy. So easy. And yeah, here the fucking Cardinals are running the football over you. Josh Dobbs just completing passes. It's so infuriating to watch sometimes.
And here's the thing, and then missing missing all the linemen. And not only that, missing all the linemen, they had like 10 penalties in the first half. And then, like, what did it finish with? Like 30 or 20 penalties in the game? The penalties killed them. It's like every time this team gets a penalty, they never survive the penalty. They never survive the penalty. They're own worst enemy.
James, I said the Jets can't lose another game to the Patriots. Yes, they can't. They really couldn't, because that would set the season into like a spiral already. Like, but it was already in a spiral because of Aaron Rodgers. But now it's, you lose that game to the Patriots, you have to do something at quarterback. And how are you supposed to get one? Right? Who's going to want to get rid of their quarterback the way these quarterbacks are kind of falling right now? Like, a backup quarterback that was going to be available and on the market now isn't, because Derek Carr's hurt. So, like, not saying I wanted Jameis, you can't really go get him. And then you look at Washington, where you have Jacoby Brissett, probably one of the 3 best backup quarterbacks in football. You can't really go get him, because that dude Sam Howell in Washington kind of just fucked himself over a little bit and may have a shorter leash now. So, and then it's like, okay, you try to call Dallas to get the other one of the 3 best backup quarterbacks in football, and Cooper Rush. It's going to cost an arm and a leg to get it, because if the inevitable Dak Prescott gets hurt, then like they're going to want to keep Cooper Rush. They're not going to want to play Trey Lance yet. And then it's like, oh, you call San Francisco, see if you want to go get Sam Darnold back. They're not going to give him up, because they already got rid of a quarterback. So your options are these losers in free agency. Maybe you call Minnesota and you're like, hey, y'all trying to tank or what? Because we have a team that's trying to win football games and our quarterback sucks cock. So, like, what are we going to do? What do you want? And then you have to give up an arm and a leg for a rental. No matter what you get, it's a rental. And you have to give up too much to get it. And quarterbacks are already the hardest position to find in football. So if you have a good quarterback and then you have a backup that you like, you're going to be like, all right, run it. Run your pockets. And pay the money and picks for Rush. What's the point? You go and you get Rush for him to leave. That's the thing. You're going to have to give up an arm and a leg for him to just leave, because he's a free agent. And again, Dak gets hurt.
If you're not going to run the ball, he doesn't work. He's not a pocket passer. The Jets have to be committed to the run, which they proved they're not committed the past 2 games. Anyways, back to this game.
Well, they couldn't be committed down 3 scores. Yeah. To be fair, right? So that I understand. But like today, and then we'll go back to the Cowboys. Jets, Patriots, stats, Jets. 20-23 rushes.
That's got to be up.
It does, but when you're in a situation where you're going 3 and out, and then you get the ball with 2 minutes left, you kind of can't run the ball there. Back to the Cowboys. Where are the Cowboys at?
Anyways, they had penalties killed them. The 3 linemen, and then when they get the red zone offensive play calling was terrible. But there's also penalties involved because of the new linemen. When they got in the red zone, they missed Zeke. They missed Zeke today. They missed Zeke. When they get in the red zone, when they had Zeke, he punched it in. Like, the red zone play calling was bad. But then the offensive linemen, the 3 new offensive linemen playing, penalties, it was a bad mix. I had a feeling once, I'm like, okay, Biotish is out, Martin's out. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, we didn't get that update until like 20 minutes before.
Tyron Smith is dressed, but he's not even playing. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on? And then it comes out with the defense just playing like dog shit.
I still think the Cowboys are the best team in football. You kind of can't define shit off of like a weird loss like this.
They weren't prepared for this game. And plus, Plus, it's when you lose your 3 offensive linemen out of nowhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of injuries that played into this game. Like, it's going to be tough for the Cowboys to maintain that like best team in football thing because they lost their best corner for the season with a ACL, and then you lose 3 linemen that are like really good.
Yeah,
So
and two of them rookie center, rookie left guard.
yeah, so it's
Right guard.
not ideal, but they were not prepared. This was a trap game in every sense of the word.
Tackle is kind of injured too, and then penalties.
That's why they say any given Sunday, man, because shit that's not supposed to happen fucking happens.
Yeah, it happens. There's nothing you can do. The defense came out, played like shit. Michael Parsons already came out and said he takes full responsibility for that.
This is like when the Jets a couple years ago came out and beat the fucking Bengals when we had no reason beating the Bengals.
They always have a game like this where they just come out. It's like, defense.
One team got up, the other team didn't.
Yeah, the defense came out, get first play, gave up the fucking touchdown, and then back to our old ways. Offense come out 3 and out. I'm like, oh, it's one of those games. But I don't hang it too much. I don't take really anything from that loss because the linemen missing, penalties. They just got to correct some stuff.
No team's going to really go undefeated.
Yeah, not knowing you're going to have your linemen like 10 minutes before the game.
You know, these guys don't practice, right? Yeah. So same thing with the Jets, where Dwayne Brown gets put on the fucking IR list, even though he was dog shit. They practice with everybody at their normal spots all week. So you don't even get those reps at the first team to do it. Granted, the Jets offensive line did perform better today than it has, but like that shit matters.
And then there was one play where they snuck that wide receiver was lined up as a tight end. And then again, defense is all about communication. Nobody communicating that, and then boom, he's wide open down the middle of the field. They did a lot of slippery stuff like it's like.
Can we talk about to move on for Panthers Seahawks? Can we talk about how Andy Dalton looks so much better than Bryce Young?
Yeah, Bryce Young's not used to this, so
he's not young, not ready.
Sometimes rookie quarterbacks should just sit back and not play. If you started the season with Andy Dalton,
and then probably would have like 2 wins right now,
and then you make the change midway through the season, because I think this helps Bryce Young more. Him watching Andy Dalton play today than him being thrown to the fire. Because one thing about he's been doing the past 2 games, he's been holding on to the ball too long.
Yep.
And not trusting anything. Like Andy Dalton's getting the ball out to the receiver because they have receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Shark and Thielen were having a day.
Adam Thielen looked like he was 5 years younger.
Yeah.
They balled out. They all played really well. He had a good connection with Mingo. Miles Sanders was like okay, but they really couldn't run the ball. That's the one thing they were not able to run the ball against this shitty Seahawks team.
And it was shitty. And it's not only that; the Seahawks were missing a bunch of people on defense for injury.
Mm-hmm.
Not run the ball because we also know Panthers don't have no O line too.
None.
And Seattle's starting to use both their running backs now.
Yes, I was just about to say Zach Charbonnet running that motherfucker over into the end zone.
And Kenneth Walker using him more receiving. He caught some. I'm like, oh yeah. Now they're cooking. Now we're cooking with oil. Now they just got to put JSN in the mix.
If they can figure out how to unlock the passing game with your running backs and then incorporating Smith and Jigba into it, they're gonna be a fucking scary offense.
Lockett's still there, DK, and then, Noah Fant being a big part of offense too. So they have weapons. Plus, also right now they're missing both their starting right tackles too. Seattle's real injured too, but they 2-1, right where you want to be. They're in the mix. They're in the mix, and they play New York City next Monday.
They do. Yikes. Those rookie corners are going to have a tough day because DK Metcalf is a different animal.
Lockett.
And I don't even know who their nickel corner is. So
No, they got Dory Jackson.
Great. He's gonna get cooked.
You asked it. You didn't know who their nickel corner was.
I didn't know who their nickel corner was. Let's over here go to the Swifties game of the week. Kansas City Chiefs versus Chicago Bears with Taylor Swift herself.
Now this is like, oh, now I'm into this. I have nothing going, so I'm like, Travis Kelce's like, yeah, I seen you rock the stadium, and I want you to come see me rock the stadium. Right? And then I watch it, and then they show her in the suite. I'm like, oh, she came to the game.
That's what I said. I said, she's there. I was like, is that his mom? Is she with his mom in the box?
Yeah, and she's next to his mom.
And I was like, yeah, they're dating. They're dating.
Yeah, it's like she came. They're dating. She said, let's fucking go.
Yeah. Anthony, when they started putting the pictures up, he sends it to the group chat. He goes, I think I hate Travis Kelce more than Russell Wilson now. Travis Kelce's now, he's a Raider fan, remember? So Chiefs, Raiders.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I think I have a new most hated player. And he loves Taylor Swift. And Anthony got real upset with me. I was like, Taylor Swift is built like Jaden. I don't even know why you care. He's like, what do you mean by that? I was like, Taylor Swift is built like a 9-year-old boy. That's what I mean. And
the best part about it is Kelce finished with 69 yards.
And a touchdown. He ended up getting a touchdown.
And then leaving side by side.
In a convertible.
Oh.
Like, it's just like some shitty Disney movie. That's all it is. This is just some shitty Disney movie where the football guy picks up the cheerleader and they just leave after the homecoming game where they all knew was going to be shitty. They were going to run up the score.
They beat the shit out of the Bears, how bad Justin Fields was, or whole freaking how bad the Bears team was, how bad the coaching is. They're all talking about Swift and Kelce.
Hey, do you remember when I said I don't think there was a quarterback that played better than Zach Wilson this week? Way worse than Zach Wilson this week. Quarterback number 3 that played worse than Zach Wilson this week, Justin Fields. So we're not too far away from just being a complete mediocre football league with quarterback play, because Justin Fields is terrible. He's bad.
It's him and everything else. The coaching's bad. The defense is really bad because Kansas City hasn't scored over 20 points yet this season, and they put 41 up. That's how bad this Bears team is, and it's their GM too. He's not making all the right moves, and
it sucks because I thought the Bears were making. I've said this on the pod last week where I thought the Bears moves that they made in the offseason were good. Right? I thought they put the money where they needed to put the money.
Yeah.
And they did the right thing, trading the first pick, get a number 1 receiver, and keep it moving. Turns out everything he did sucks. The coaches that he hired sucks. Matt Eberflus is terrible.
Who is this offense coordinator? What the fuck?
I have no idea, but he's awful.
Eberflus is calling the defense because the other guy resigned.
Yeah. Eberflus are also a defensive guy to begin with. So who you have calling plays? Because they all suck. There's no reason DJ Moore doesn't have more catches in a game.
More targets.
Targets, more anything. I just don't understand it. Their offensive line sucks. Everything about this team is bad. Like, they look like a team. I said this last week. They look like a team that just had the number 1 pick in the draft. So, and I don't even know, like, if they were to get a top 3 pick again, how much of an impact that player would have right away.
You have to
Get rid of Fields.
To trade it again because they need more than
what they have. Like, that top 3 pick does not give them the value they need. And then it's like, all right, cool. You go and you bring in another quarterback into the same situation.
This defense is bad. This defense is really bad.
And they have 2 firsts this year. That's the thing. They have 2 firsts this year. And the Panthers, they may have 2 top 10 picks. They may have 2 top 5 picks.
The 2 top 10 picks. The coaching staff's got to go. The GM.
Everybody's got to go.
Everybody's got to go. You got to fire a GM.
The problem is that they all just got there.
It's not working. It's not. Nothing's improving. You have to improve.
Everybody just got there. The only they inherited Fields. I called this last year where I was like, I think this regime is trying to coach Fields out. Like, I feel like they don't want him and his style of quarterback, so we're gonna have this shitty play calling and see if he turns chicken shit to chicken salad or if he just keeps eating chicken shit. And last year you saw sparks of him turning shit into salad. Yeah. This year is a lot of the, oh shit, there's no salad here. It's all just shit. There's just shit everywhere.
You have to, he does, you have to take what he does good and use it.
He's a running back at this point. He's just another running back.
You can blame Justin Fields. Yes, you can. You can. He deserves blame. But the coaching is not helping out neither. And they have weapons. They have weapons. DJ Moore.
Komet's no slouch.
You got Komet. You got Dante Foreman and freaking Khalil Herbert. They need to get the ball.
Maybe you could get rid of Chase Claypool, but that's a different conversation. Like, if T. Higgins leaves, you should probably throw money at T. Higgins. But
Claypool's not the number 1 here. We know who the number 1 is.
Yeah.
DJ Moore. You have to design him plays.
There needs to be way more motion. There needs to be him lining up all over the place. You can't just keep lining him up out wide. You need to put him in the backfield. You need to put him in the slot.
You already know your defense is bad.
Keep your defense off the field.
Run the ball. You have
get your defense some rest.
He's been good for the past 2 years. On Tennessee and the Panthers. Yep. When Derrick Henry was freaking hurt and Foreman took over, he rushed for 1,000 yards. And then they traded freaking Christian McCaffrey because of Dante Foreman was there on the Panthers last year, and he was balling too. Foreman's on this fucking team. Run the ball. And you have Khalil Herbert. Make it easy for this guy.
I don't get it. This Bears team sucks. They're going to lose every game.
And if you keep putting them on the field, guess what?
You're going to get worse.
You're going to get 41 dropped on you by a team with terrible receivers who are picking y'all apart. Every one of their receivers are roasting them.
It's a bad sight. It's a bad sight for a Bears fan, for Bears fans as a whole. It's a great sight for Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce fantasy owners, though. It's great. I was feeling myself a little bit too much where I decided I was going to play Sky Moore this week. That's what it was. I saw, Chiefs Bears. I might as well try to get a triple stack here and see if I can get Travis Kelce and Sky Moore. But alas, Sky Moore only got me 8 points. 8 points, but I'll take it. Did I have the highest tight end of the week again? No, Laporta.
Laporta had a bomb.
Yeah, so if you don't have the top tight ends, you don't have a tight end.
Yeah, if you don't have Travis Kelce, you don't have one. Guess what? Laporta, that'll be Laporta's best game of the year, and then somebody else next week will be the number 2 tight end.
They're gonna be fighting for it. Again, if you didn't have Travis Kelce last year, the first 10 kickers in fantasy, the top 10 point scorers at kickers, all had more points than tight ends 2, 3, 4, so on. So they outscored every tight end. That wasn't Travis Kelce. That is ridiculous.
They're completely reliant on touchdowns.
Let's do a preview for tomorrow's games while we got some time here. Eagles Bucks. We talked about this a little bit on last Monday, about how this could be like a trap game for Philly.
Yeah, it could be.
Because Todd Bowles can coach himself a defense. The Eagles defense has been looking a little sus. And if Baker Mayfield can drag this team, and not even Baker Mayfield drag, if Baker Mayfield comes to play and he does that thing where he's put himself up against the wall, he's like, nobody thinks I'm good. Everybody's counting me out. I'm the underdog. He's gonna do that thing. He does.
Last year, I was telling you about something Kurt Warner brought up about how, like Odell, he never got in connection with Odell because Odell was a freelancer, and he needs somebody that's not a freelancer.
Yeah, Mike Evans is that guy.
He's not freelancing, so that's why Baker's.
We could potentially be watching the career resurgence of Baker Mayfield here.
He's been doing Mike Evans right now, so when he gets Chris Godwin involved, it's gonna.
They could really be moving.
Yeah, when they start getting Godwin involved,
they could be moving
because Godwin is the mismatch.
All they need, if they get Baker Mayfield to start feeling himself, Tampa Bay they're going to be winning that division, no problem. That's the thing. They can't allow Baker to not feel like he's the underdog. If he starts feeling like he's the guy, and he's like, I'm the underdog, I'm that guy, you guys forgot about me. And if he ever is like, man, they thought they forgot about me, I'm the shit, and then he starts stinking. No, he needs to keep that chip on his shoulder. If they can get chip on the shoulder Baker Mayfield for the rest of this year, they got something. Especially with Mike Evans being the fucking dog that he is.
Because these receivers, the Tampa Bay receivers match up well against the Philly.
And so does Tampa Bay's offensive line.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay's offensive line. And that Philadelphia Eagles offensive line looks old. They look old. Lane Johnson's been getting beat up.
Tampa's front seven.
Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett.
Oh, wow.
I like this defense.
Interesting matchup.
They have good corner. They have a good secondary. Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean. They could do a damage here. That's why I picked the Bucs to win this game. I would not be surprised if the Bucs won. I'd be surprised if they got the doors blown off them because of how talented the defense is.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if they won. All right, Rams Bengals.
Now
I think
I think I don't even remember if I picked the Bengals to win. I'm heavily leaning towards the Rams, even though I think I picked the Bengals. But I don't know this Joe Burrow situation. They're going to work him out in the morning.
They're not going to play him.
They're doing something in the morning. Like if he plays, I don't think he's going to play.
You picked the Bengals.
I did.
I picked the Rams completely based on Joe Burrow not playing because I truly believe he's not playing.
I was thinking, well, Joe Burrow is hurt, so maybe the backup's coming in. He's got a situation. At least he's got some receivers.
Yeah, he's all right there.
He's got 3 receivers, and he's got Joe Mixon. They could rely more on Joe Mixon this game.
The problem is they have Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's a one-man defense.
And then, they were saying Puka Nacua probably wasn't going to play, but then they all said he's going to play. That was earlier in the day. They said he's going to play.
Yeah, I picked this clearly based on Joe Burrow not playing. If the Bengals were smart, they would not play him. But it's that thing where it's like, what's the organization going to value? Are they going to value the health of their quarterback or trying not to go like 0-5?
Well, what if the health is not bad and you still go 0-5? If the health is bad and you still go 0-5.
Exactly. So when we were recording the pod on Thursday, I was of the belief it's like, hey, just punt the season. Like, try to put Burrow on the IR. Get him the help he needs.
Get like 2-3 wins, because then they play. The rest of the division's still there. The division.
That's the thing. That's the thing. If you go like 0-4, 0-5, or you 1-4, 1-5, you kind of got to punt. That's what I would be. If I'm the GM, I'm like, hey, we already got Burrow locked up. We're going to pay T. Higgins. Burrow's going to do that thing that like every quarterback does. They're just going to, hey, we're going to convert our salary into a roster bonus. So we just freed up like 25 mil. Go sign T. Higgins. And then that top 10 draft pick they get, trade it. Get a million other assets or take best offensive lineman available. Because the deeper you get into this season and you have the potential lingering of an Achilles injury that could happen, the worse it gets for next year.
If they play the backup in, potentially, let's say 5 weeks, and you go 2-3, the rest of the division's got to play each other. And you already know, at least you and the other two still have to play the 49ers once. And then Seattle. Seattle's a toss-up.
So their next, outside of this Rams game, they have the Titans and the Cardinals.
2 winnable
games. So that's where it's like, if you lose those games.
On the bench. This is a winnable game against the Rams, too.
Mm-hmm.
Donald, your receivers
outclass them. Yes. They outclass them. The problem is Aaron Donald. You can put 5 on Aaron Donald. It doesn't matter. Really doesn't fucking matter. So they got a tough stretch. So they got an easy stretch now, like Rams, Titans, Cardinals. They have a decent 3-game stretch. Seahawks could be another one of those games where it's like, hey, if your backup plays okay, you could win that game.
Defense isn't good, so it's like.
But then you get Niners and the Bills. And it's like, all right. And then you start jumping into some difficult
games. Or do you want him possibly torn his ACL by the Seattle game?
Mm-hmm.
Achilles.
Because then you have a tough stretch. It's like, say what you want about the Texans. The Texans will put 400, 500 yards on you. The Texans will hang 1,000 on you, no problem. It's just a matter of like, can you compete? Can you do this shootout? And then division game, conference game, tough conference game. Depending on who's playing quarterback here, this game could be tough. And then, the Vikings suck. And then you have Steelers, Chiefs, Browns. So it all really depends on this like 3-game stretch on how their season is going to be decided. If I'm the Bengals, I'm sitting them.
Yeah, I would sit them for out.
You got to think long term.
When's their bye?
When is their bye? Let's see. Not week 4, not week 5, not week 6. Week 7. So right before the Seahawks.
Okay. So Worst case scenario, you make him miss the next 5 games. You sit him out for 5 games.
And just send him to treatment.
Yeah, that's it. Because
I know the kid's young, but not an easy injury to recover from.
He's young, but he's already missed his rookie season because his offensive line couldn't protect him. And he's already one of the most quarterbacks that gets smacked the most. That doesn't run the ball. That doesn't scramble. I mean, like doesn't run consistently.
Yeah. Outside of Jalen Hurts, he's the most sacked quarterback in football, and it's not his fault.
Yeah. And he's the most hit quarterback that doesn't freaking run and have design run for that. So
don't want that for him. Don't care if he's young and he'll recover fast. He's 24, 25.
Yeah.
You don't want that for him because you're looking 10 years down the road. You're not looking right now.
Contract. You don't want to fuck him up, fuck his body up worse. And then you're stuck if his body is real fucked up. You don't know how you're going to recover, and then you have his contract
or any complications you can have, because once you're out of surgery, there is a high chance of infection.
He re-aggravated last week. I'm like, you're 0-2, play the backup. You don't know. You could win the game. It's the Rams. Your next 3 games. The Titans, you could
win. You could win those games. Titans suck. You can win those games.
But you was against their freaking secondary. Hello.
Feast. Mike asked me the other day. He was like, "So if we beat the Bengals next week and Joe Burrow doesn't play, do you gonna give us credit?" I'm like, I mean, you get the win. Like, am I gonna be like, "Oh wow, you guys beat the Bengals"? No, I'm not, because you're playing the backup quarterback. He was like, it's a lose. I'm like, it's not really lose. You get the win, but like when it comes down to like the long term of your season, we review what like the report card of the Tennessee Titans. Like, oh, they beat the Bengals. Wait, was Joe Burrow playing? No, yeah, no, whatever. Like, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's just like if teams that are beating us now claim that they beat the Aaron Rodgers Jets, it's not the same. Aaron Rodgers is not playing. It's like when the Bucks beat the Nets in that playoff series. I was getting all these messages. Wow, Giannis just beat Kyrie, James Harden, Kevin Durant. No, he didn't. He beat Kevin Durant and Jeff Green.
The Titans are on this
slow trajectory.
They're on the down. You're gonna have a new quarterback next year. Maybe
they may have a new quarterback in the next like 4 weeks.
Maybe a new coach. You got a new running back.
That sucks. I hate that for Vrabel. I think Vrabel's a good coach. But
so
eventually you got to move on.
I'm telling you right now, Vrabel's the one that's most likely to stay than freaking Tannehill.
Oh, yeah. When Vrabel made those comments about how Tannehill sucked after week 1, I was like, he doesn't say those things. And he very much so likes to keep that low.
He's left on Derrick Henry's contract.
They were already trying to get rid of him. The second when Tannehill's gone, they're going to get rid of Henry and they're going to get rid of Byard. Because Byard makes too much money compared to what the safety market is now.
Yeah, can't be one of the highest paid safeties, and then you're part of the weakness on your freaking team. Can't cover.
That's what Mike likes to talk about. He's like, we got one of the best safeties in football. I was like, yeah, one of like the 5 best safeties in football probably, but your secondary is the worst. I was like, so you have a top 5 player at the least important position on the field,
and you're paying them.
Two highest paid people on the Titans are the 2 most unimportant positions in football: running back and safety. Yeah, I hate to see it. But with that is our Sunday Night Football recap for September 24th. It is now September 25th. Thank you for everybody who has tuned in. Appreciate you. I'm Dylan Barretto. I'm Podcast Poppy. That's Steven Barretto, Sand Viper. We will see you next week. Have a good one. Where the fuck is it? I should have had this ready. See ya.